to start us off on WCW?
WCW. Now, I can almost put this one in order.
I think WCW, I think we're going to have a lot of the same. Well, if you think about the run of WCW, it was a lot shorter. It was over 2001, and we just talked Edge and Christian, Hardys, Dudleys. That was like when they were really breaking out about that time.
Yeah.
And then me with the Usos.
New,
way past that.
Yeah.
So the time frame's a lot more constricted. So I think we'll have some sames here. But
top three for me for WCW would be I was in love with Harlem Heat.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were a phenomenal tag team. Yeah. Number two was probably the Steiner brothers. They were, fucking Rick Steiner. And we all know Scott Steiner's a nutcase.
And number three is High Voltage.
Yep. Chronic. It's actually Chronic. Chronic. Man, number three. Who could I put? I was thinking maybe the Nasty Boys because they had some entertaining matches. I watched that after watching What Happened When, or listening to What Happened When.
Which you're listening to now?
Yeah, I got on it. You fucking asshole got me hooked on it.
You watched that one with
Cactus and Max Power?
Or Max Payne?
Max Payne. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Well, the one with Sullivan was the one before, like a month before.
Dude, they beat the shit out of each other. But the reason I say the Nasty Boys is one of my favorite tag team matches of all time is Uncensored 95.
Mm-hmm. There's Harlem Heat and the
Harlem
Street
Heat
fight.
and the Tornado tag team match. And it was Falls Count Anywhere. And they fought. They did the concession stand gimmick. The spot where... And there was Mustard. Sensational Sherry was slipping. Cracked her head on the cement. It was just the funnest fucking match. And I just love that. So I would put the Nasty Boys at number 3.
All right, man. I'm thinking about it. I was thinking about the answers you were talking. And, WWF always had a hot tag team division. Again, when we first started, there was the Hearts and the Rockers and the Brain Busters. And even, the Rougeaus, they weren't, a top team, but they were good.
They were good.
Excuse me. WCW had some really great tag teams because you can't... The Steiner Brothers and Harlem Heat are definitely my top 3 as well. Longevity for sure. They had great matches together. Booker, of course, emerged as a bigger star, but the Steiner brothers we talked about the Steiners on the last pod we did. You go back to those early '90s Steiners matches. My God, they were so good, and they were so exciting. So I'm trying to think of that third team, and as I was doing it, there's so many that came into my head. The Outsiders should be in there.
Yeah.
Because
they really should.
How great were they?
I was thinking about them, but they were awesome. Almost too easy.
And I love the Nasty Boys. There's actually a Nasty Steiners match from 1990 Halloween Havoc, and it's not a gimmick brawl or anything like that, but it's so good. They beat the shit out of each other. It's so good. The Hollywood Blondes were a cool team.
That was cool.
There were some really, really great teams going through WCW. That being said, mine is the Midnight Express, and you guys don't fall asleep me talking about the Midnight Express. You need to watch some Midnight Express. Jeff, Mark, have you ever watched any Midnight Express tag team matches?
I probably have, but I couldn't even tell you.
All right,
you probably fell asleep.
Would you stop? With Jim Cornette as the manager, who is a great manager. And Cornette is a subject of his own because if you think all the other top managers... Heenan was with a lot of guys, and Jimmy Hart was with a lot of guys. Until Cornette got to the WWF, it was just Cornette and the Midnight Express. That was it. But they were innovative for their time. They were Bobby Eaton is a fantastic worker, just a bar none great professional wrestler. And I grew up on the Stan Lane version. Stan wasn't as good of a wrestler as Bobby Eaton was, but he had more of the look, more of the charisma, more of the guy of your standard looking wrestler, and. They had innovative double team moves. There was the same Southern style where the baby faces beat the shit out of them for 6-7 minutes, and they sold and flopped, and Cornette would freak out, and then
corny,
and he'd swing the racket around,
yep.
and then they would take over, and they would hit cool double team moves. Bobby Eaton doing those damn Alabama Jam leg drop every match. He'd do the top rope knee drop every match. They had the rocket launcher where they just press slammed him off for a splash. But they had so many good tandem double team moves, and they all made sense. They all pieced in at the right moment. And then the finish, nowadays it's always a hot finish with 5-6 false finishes. It wasn't really like that. Usually the babyface is coming in boom, boom, boom. And then either they would get a good pin or Cornette would do something shitty and they would screw him over. And it was really the same formula through and through, but God, they were always good. We are going to take a minute to watch a Midnight Express match and you're not going to fall asleep.
You can't fall asleep either, so we can't do it at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well, we can't do it about 10 o'clock at night anymore. I'll sleep out on these. But we'll watch some Midnight Express and maybe you can see what I'm saying. But they came in through Crockett, so like 87 before WCW was WCW. But the match we'll watch is against the Southern Boys, which is Tracy Smothers and Steve Armstrong. One of the Armstrong brothers. Yeah, one of the Armstrong brothers. Great match. Can't recommend watching some old Midnight Express enough. They're my third WCW tag team.
Damn. See, I wasn't a WCW guy. I've said this before, so these are going to be.
Have you gone back and watched any like older WCW on the network?
I haven't at all. I think I went back and watched like the first episode of Raw ever, and then maybe kind of let it go from there, but didn't pay too much attention.
I'll give just a sidebar on this. Like, if you go back and watch old classic WCW in like the early '90s and stuff, 91, 92, the wrestling's probably better than the WWF.
I think it was.
It's not as fun. The nostalgia's not going to be there.
Production kind of
all-
sucked.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I
all
would.
veterans too, though.
Right. Yeah. So I would, I if you give me a choice of SummerSlam 91 versus Great American Bash 91, I'm going to watch SummerSlam because it's what we grew up on, it's what we know. But if you're objectively for just the wrestling itself, the wrestling's probably better than those old WCW shows.
No.
So worth a shot. If there's some wrestlers you're interested in, going through, looking back in those earlier eras, God, watch anything with Steiners. I mean, Steiners versus Doom. Just 4 big jacked up dudes beating the shit out of each other.
No, like I remember watching the Steiner brothers, and I remember the Outsiders. The Outsiders are the only ones I could think of.
Yeah.
Because that's why I started watching is because of that whole.
A lot of people started watching WCW because of that. Yeah.
But other than like, and I remember like random team ups of people that I enjoyed, but they weren't tag teams. So like.
Well, what are you thinking of?
And I remember Harlem Heat as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're talking like Luger and Sting, like.
Yeah, just random team ups where they
teamed
would.
up a decent bit, but
Yeah.
they weren't like known as a tag team.
But yeah, so when it comes to a top 3 tag team for WCW, it's probably those three you've already named because those are probably the 3 most well known that I would know somebody who wasn't.
And I'm gonna go and watch his
We're gonna watch the
Midnight Express. Rock and Roll Express, whatever you want to call it.
Here's the difference. There's a difference. I'm not as huge on the rock and roll. I'd probably put rock and roll actually in the overrated category because I don't think Robert Gibson was worth a shit as a wrestler.
They just weren't believable.
Ricky Morton was one of the best selling baby faces. Like, I mean, his cell work was amazing. Their stuff in the ring, they were good. They weren't great. They weren't even on the same level as the Rockers or the Midnight Express really in ring for their talent. I don't think so personally. Different era.
Right.
Though, and honestly, if you go back and watch, even when they did that small stint in the Fed in '93 when they came over with like the Heavenly Bodies, it's good stuff.
I love the Heavenly Bodies.
The Heavenly Bodies were great.
They were.
Didn't I show you that match with the Steiners? That '93.
Yeah.
They're so good.
They had a match. Oh man, no, they were in a battle royale. In '92, the Rampage '92.
Yeah,
and they were they were 2 of the last 3 guys in there. I don't remember who won it, but they were the third guy. Yeah, I don't remember. I remember watching it like, oh my god. Usually tag teams got fucked up in those.
The simple story. They actually stuck together.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were working as a team, and the Heavenly Bodies were the shit.
Yeah, Heavenly Bodies was good stuff.
Such a great name too, Heavenly Bodies.
And they looked the part, man.
The Heavenly Bodies was Dr. Tom Pritchard, was in better shape than his brother, and then the Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey. Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey looked like the guy running the stand at the Waco homecoming, like
exactly. Beautiful blonde mullet
with a handlebar mustache,
beautiful mustache,
kind of a doughy body, and all of a sudden he's throwing moonsaults and super kicks like it's nobody's business, like back in '92, '93.
Damn.
Yeah, we were watching Heavenly Bodies.
It's fun. It really is good stuff.